Our central character to this story is none other than Greg Williams. Yeah, you remember that guy? I mean, he's pretty hard to forget. An intense, polarizing coach, largely despised by NFL fans. Williams' history goes back quite a ways, and controversies surround him wherever he goes. Just this past season, there were cries of blatant tanking when Williams sent out an all-out blitz on a Hail Mary attempt, leaving his undrafted rookie corner out to dry against one of the fastest players in the league. A baffling play call that perhaps no other coordinator in the league would even consider. Some people called for an investigation, others would just say that's Greg Williams being Greg Williams. Either way, he was fired almost immediately. If you go back a little further, when the Jets played the Browns in 2019, Browns players who were previously coached by Williams, they warned Odell Beckham Jr. to look out for Williams' Jets defense to deliver cheap shots and dirty hits. This coming years after the most notorious scandal Williams is known for, when he orchestrated the Saints' infamous reward system for purposefully injuring players. A bounty program that received one of the most severe punishments in the NFL's 100-plus years of existence. It took place over the Saints' Super Bowl run and targeted players like Aaron Rodgers, Brett Favre, and Kurt Warner. If you need a reminder on just how bad that was, then listen to Greg Williams speaking to his defense here.
Kill the head, the body. We've got to do everything in the world to make sure we kill Frank Gore's head. We want him running sideways. We want his head sideways.
A man willing to target ACLs and encourage a fresh delivery of concussions. So much so that he was willing to reward his players with his own money. He immediately became the villain of the NFL. The face of a dirty program, a stain on the league's legacy. At the time, there were reports that the bounty program had followed Williams throughout his NFL career. And like we said before, controversies follow him everywhere he goes, even his first defensive coordinator job with the Titans. Although he's been accused of having some sort of bounty program back then, this scandal has nothing to do with that. But his bounty history and his willingness to do whatever it takes, fair or not, can only help prove its worth. In 1999, the Jaguars ran through their schedule as they posted the best record in the NFL at 14-2. With Tom Coughlin leading the way, Jacksonville looked primed for a Super Bowl matchup against the greatest show on turf. So after a first-round bye, the Jaguars shred the Dolphins 62-7 in one of the biggest blowouts in all of playoff history. Not only would they send Dan Marino into retirement, but they also had never looked so dominant. Their next opponent would be the Titans, who made it to this point off the Music City Miracle and a tight defensive battle against the Colts. So maybe at this point you'd think things were lining up for the Jaguars' first ever Super Bowl appearance. Only problem was Jacksonville was actually a perfect 15-0 to all teams not named the Titans. And about a month prior, the Titans had actually blown out the Jaguars, the only game of the year where the Jaguars had given up at least 25 points. It was a massive outlier, but now the Jaguars had a chance to redeem themselves. Yet again, though almost inexplicably, at least from the Jaguars' perspective, they just couldn't even come close to the Titans, as they lost by 19 points. A few seasons or so later, Greg Williams approached former Jags defensive end Ronaldo Wynn, a player who got to know Williams quite well because he was now playing for him on the Redskins. And now just listen to what he has to say as he looks back on it.
Well, you know why we fell short in that AFC Championship game. After that, I ended up getting coached by Greg Williams. Mm-hmm. And Greg Williams at that time was the defensive coordinator for the Tennessee Titans.
Yep.
We know all his antics, obviously, Super Bowl, and got suspended
Bountygate.
for a year, Bountygate. But before that, Greg, first thing he says when he comes in the door, hey, you know why you lost? With a lot of other explicit words with that. Well, he said he had our playbook. Wait, what? Greg Williams had our playbook the
like our
day
actual
before the game.
Our game plan.
Our
That's the
game
important
plan
thing.
on offense had our playbook. So if you remember,
like a spy situation?
How did he get that?
Yeah.
He didn't say.
well, I know how he got it because he started getting playbooks when I was with him.
Really?
Now, if we put together some conspiracy puzzle pieces for a second, with the Odell targeting quote from Brown's teammates, we know Williams isn't afraid of committing wrongdoing several times over. So we know that potential NFL punishments sure don't scare him, even though he did once get a year-long suspension from the league. So is it crazy to think that a former player of his would say that he repeatedly stole playbooks? Maybe Wynn had some vendetta against Williams. I mean, I'd say there's a good chance plenty of players do. And later Wynn kind of backtracked saying he had never actually seen the playbooks. I'm not sure if he got a call from the league office and then was trying to protect Williams or the league's image. But he had already said his own Redskin team also got opposing playbooks, so the damage had been done. And you want to know what the crazy thing is? There's been another accusation against Williams for stealing playbooks. Trent Dilfer told NFL Films that his playbook disappeared after their 2000 regular season game in Tennessee, and he was certain it was stolen. When the Ravens returned to face the Titans in the playoffs, Dilfer said their defense was unusually well prepared for what the Ravens were doing on offense, as if somebody from the Titans had gotten hold of the Baltimore playbook. Weirdly enough, even with this involving a big name like Greg Williams, it never became a big story. Of course, it might have been different if the Titans didn't come up short against the Rams in Super Bowl 34, and it's worth mentioning that no other players have come out against Williams in this playbook scandal. Still, Wynn does have a unique connection, having been a part of that Jaguars team and playing for Williams later in his career. I guess it's for you to decide if someone like Greg Williams deserves the benefit of the doubt when accusations like this come up. If you're wondering, after his Jets firing, Williams still remains unemployed.